just want to welcome everyone to this month's Zoom. It's March 16th, 2019. Sue Hiles is presenting this month, and she is going to be sharing with us how to make a decoupaged box. And you can use your box for mixed media supplies or just as something pretty on your table, etc., and sure to be a fun project. So thank you so much, Sue, for joining us today. And everyone should have gotten their supply sheet. And hopefully we're all set. And Sue, I will be giving out all your contact information in a follow-up email. And since we are recording this session, if you do not want to be part of the recording, then you can put a question in the chat and just ask by typing. If you don't mind, if your voice is in the recording, then you can just ask out loud. Your photographs will not be in the recording, so your little box pictures will not be in the recording. All right, Sue, take it away.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. I'm so excited to be here with all of you today. I'm going to, I guess, just take a couple minutes and just explain the process briefly, and then we'll go ahead and begin. And again, if you have any questions, you can either put it in the chat or raise your hand. And I love questions or comments or whatever. I don't want to lose any of you in the process, but something tells me that most of you have done this before or something similar before. But if not, you know, I want to take the time to make sure that I explain everything. So, you know, when Mary and Jeri asked me to go ahead and if I wanted to teach this month, I'm like, sure. And then I'm like, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what the heck to do. So, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, I have to have like this most amazing, awesome thing that nobody's ever seen before, right? And I'm like, no,
No, we just enjoy getting together.
Right, it's so much about being together and getting our hands sticky together and just enjoying one another. So what I did was, and you know, it's like one of those things. So my daughter smokes and she lives here in the house with me. And so I'm walking past the counter and I saw an empty cigarette box. So like any mixed media artist would do, I picked it up and I'm like, well, I can use this somehow.
It's really getting bad. We're recycling cigarette boxes.
right. And I'm like, oh, and then it all just came together and I'm like, this is perfect because obviously you don't have to have a cigarette box to do this. You can do this technique on anything, like on a tin, like that cookies came in or a jar or anything, you can do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some examples of some papers that I like to use and the products that we're going to use. But it was simply, I just took the time to sit and relax one day and just, like I said, get my hands sticky with some Mod Podge, right? And just have a good, you know, mixed media session. And it was great. So, and I did record it actually when I made this. It's on my YouTube channel. But anyway, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to take whatever box that you have, and we're going to use a medium to get the papers down that you have selected for this project. So here's some examples. I mean, it can go on and on and on, right? I mean, there's like so many options out there. But, you know, these are the ones I just happened to grab just to show different examples. Now, I prefer matte. When I work, especially in a journal, I prefer using a matte medium. I find them to be less sticky when they're dry if they're matte, and I just really don't like the shine. But for this project, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to use this matte, or this gloss actually, the gloss Mod Podge. So I don't know, I don't use it otherwise. So it's a good opportunity for me to use it. And I think it looks pretty on the finished product. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Mod Podge, and hopefully all of you have something similar today. It can be Elmer's glue. It can be any type of adhesive. But you know, something like this is really the best. So the other thing was, so what kind of papers do you like to use, right? I mean, that's the other thing I tend to collect is all kinds of papers, all kinds of paper tissues, napkins. I go to a party, I'm shoving napkins in my pocketbook because I'm like, I gotta have this napkin, right? I mean, it's like, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so right before I started this today with all of you, I went through my stash and I just pulled out some things. So, you know, if you happen to have, you know, an old, you know, this is Simplicity, but what was there, McCall's, whatever. These are really good to use when you're doing like a collage piece. Say that maybe the colors on your piece were too bright or just not cohesive enough or something like that. This is a great piece to put over something, because when you put your Mod Podge on top of it, it becomes, you know, more transparent or translucent, but it kind of pulls the background back a little bit, so it's not so colorful. So anyway, so I do often use that. And these are tissue papers. I mean, how pretty, right? I mean, awesome. Every single one of these, I'm like, I want to use them all today. So I have those. And then there is, of course, the jelly printing. So these are on deli paper. That's my favorite type of substrate to jelly plate. I love my jelly plate. And so these are a couple examples of using the jelly plate with acrylic paints. And then I also, this is actually a piece of drop paper, right? So it's like that shipping paper. And again, just adding all different color, and I wrote or drew, you know, just like little circles on here, and I did some stenciling, and it's so pretty, and I use it all the time, and otherwise it would have ended up in the garbage, you know. So these are great things to use, and you can use them on your mixed media piece. So what I would like you all to do, we're going to go ahead, grab your papers, your napkins, whatever it is, your tissue paper, and depending on the size of the box that you have, like I'm going to use this box right here. This is a little Kohl's jewelry box. You know, there's smaller boxes, there's deeper boxes, you know, it can go on and on, right? But I decided I'm going to go ahead and use this jewelry box from Kohl's. So because it's not big, right, the biggest areas of it or surfaces are the top and the bottom. So in order for me to get something like this, where there's a lot of different color on it, my pieces can't be really big unless you want it to be all one piece of paper. Absolutely, you can definitely do that. But for me, I want to have as many different colors on this as I possibly can. So what I want you all to start with is to go ahead and grab your papers and let's start tearing them up. One thing that personally for me, whether I'm working on a journaling page or something like this, is or even a canvas, I very seldom will use a piece of paper that has a straight edge. I don't prefer it. Like, to me, something that has a torn edge will blend better with the other pieces that you're going to be using, as opposed to a straight edge. And not that it's awful or terrible or anything, but for me personally, I like the look of it when the pieces are torn and it is not a straight edge like this would be right here. So let's go ahead and tear, everybody. Hopefully you're tearing already as you're listening to me. And you want all different shapes as well, right? So, you know, you're gonna have some that are more rectangular, some that are more triangular, and just make your little piles, because you're really not gonna know what you're gonna use until you actually start putting everything down onto your box.
Sue, may I interrupt you for a moment?
Sure.
I have to tell you, I don't know if everybody felt the same way as me, but the photograph, I had no idea what size that box was until you put your hand next to it. I thought it was a huge box.
Yeah, no, and that's why I said it's a cigarette box, and I said a small jewelry box.
Yeah.
Although I have to tell you, I have this. This is a Whitman's candy box.
Yeah.
You know? So
that's what I thought. I thought it was something that big.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no, you can, sure, absolutely. It doesn't matter what size it is.
Yeah.
So whatever you have, that's more than fine.
Yeah. See, I think when I wrote the little blurb about it, I said you can store your mixed media supplies in it. So I don't think you can do that in a cigarette box.
Well, I know you can. They would just be really small.
Your rhinestones, your little teeny embellishments.
That's right.
Anyway, this is wonderful because it's one of those projects that can be done quickly. And yes. I know Donna is here, and we were talking about making cards and whatnot, you know, like people do, they make prompt cards or doodle cards, or we made the scrapbook card deck thing a couple months ago. Anyway, wouldn't it be fun to make a box to house all them?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking as I was looking at your small box.
Yeah.
And now I'll have to find a box that will fit some of the cards that I have, because I have a lot of children's flashcards and whatnot.
That's a great idea, actually.
That would be fun.
Yep, yep. I mean, we can turn pretty much any, I want to say, junk, right?
Yeah, right.
Into something.
Of course we can.
Useful or pretty or whatever, right?
It's our life's calling.
It is our life's calling. Excuse me. So how's everybody doing? If I asked everybody to raise their hand if they have their papers torn, would that drive the moderators crazy?
No, not at all. And you know what? If people want to just unmute themselves and talk and say something, they certainly can do that.
Okay, so let me know how you're all doing before I move on. I want to make sure that you're ready to start getting things down.
I'm ready. I'm just watching today.
Right. Is anybody not ready? Okay, I'll take that as we're ready to move on. So, you know, depending on the box that you have, I mean, mine is obviously in 2 pieces. The cigarette box was in 1 piece. This was actually a lot of fun to do simply because I still wanted it to open and close when I was done with it. So it was a little bit different, but I totally enjoyed it. So I think that this is going to be, I want to say, a little bit easier, but getting around the corners of the box, no matter what size you have, you just want to make sure that you can get it as flat as possible. So let's just begin. So, you know, grab your box or a piece of your box, whatever the case may be. And what I'm going to do, you can obviously use a brush. So whatever you're comfortable doing, and I'll probably be using the brush along with, I'm going to put some Mod Podge onto this. It's actually an acrylic block meant to put stamps on to stamp, but I use it as a palette, as you can see.
What a great idea.
Isn't that a great idea? And I mean, I obviously use it like all the time. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit on there as well, because I know I'm gonna end up using my fingers. And you almost have to with this, because if you wanna get the edges really tight on there, you kind of have to use a little bit with your fingers. All right. I don't know why this closed up on me, but it did. So, all right. I'm just going to get a little bit of Mod Podge on here. Just so I have it. And so what you're going to do, so again, I'm going to, you know, talk in a way where, you know, if this was the first time somebody was doing this, that they would be able to follow along. So focus on one area of your box. And again, it doesn't matter how big the box is. What would happen is if you have a bigger box, you're going to have bigger pieces of, you know, painted paper to put onto it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start in the corner. You don't have to start in the corner. You can start on the back or the top or the side or whatever it is you have. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start on the corner. And I'm going to go ahead and you're going to use probably quite a bit of your adhesive or your matte medium. You're going to use quite a bit of it on this project, only because, so like for example, so I put the matte medium down. I'm going to go ahead and push it down. On the corner, right now it's sticking out. It's sticking out. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to see if you can see that. Oh, there we go.
We can see it.
It's sticking out. So I'm going to actually take some Mod Podge on my finger. And you don't have to do this, but, and I'm just going to kind of make it more pliable and then push the piece of deli paper, in this case, down. So now I have a nice sharp corner. There's no paper sticking out. And then you just continue on. So you can take your brush and go on to another piece. Now, another recommendation that I have is you do want to be aware of the colors, right? Because like I like having you know, an assortment of color and not necessarily have two pieces right next to each other that are identical. But the other thing that I think is really important on something like this is to overlap. You don't want to try to put paper right next to each other. You definitely want to overlap, because that also makes it look more cohesive for a background. Does anyone have any questions?
I think you're doing great, Sue.
Oh, thank you, Mary. Thank you. So that's it. We're just going to keep putting it down, and it goes fairly quickly, right? Because you just put the adhesive down, put your paper down. I put a little bit of Mod Podge over it. It makes it nice and pliable and bendable, and it just all sticks beautifully. So, all right. So is everybody doing good? You're so quiet. I'm going to look through the
You're busy.
gallery here. just to see everybody's faces.
Yes, B said that we are busy.
Oh, that we are.
When you're busy, you get quiet.
Here. Oh, how are you? It's good to see you here.
My first time.
Oh my gosh, welcome. Is your first time on Zoom?
No, I've done it for meetings, but never for art.
Yeah, it's a great tool to use.
Yeah.
Welcome, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you, Sue.
Sure. Awesome. Oh, how wonderful. Right, so I'm going to keep going here. Otherwise, all I'm going to do is talk, so.
That's okay.
Oh my goodness.
You can work and talk, right? Or no?
Well, I don't know about that. No.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. All right. So I know Bo from my YouTube channel.
Oh.
So, yeah.
All right. So she's one of your followers.
Yeah. Oh, nice. And she's very encouraging from me, you know, like I have like the most amazing subscribers. I mean, they're all just wonderful. And here I try to encourage them because I do a lot of faith art and Bible art and everything on my channel. And here I am trying to encourage them. And then they write the sweetest comments to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And my heart just melts. And
I know.
right?
I love my followers too. It's,
right?
you know, this is a very, very nice group that we have going on. All of us, because we all kind of seem to be in the same, you know, moving around in the same groups. And it's really nice.
Yes, I agree.
Everybody's very supportive. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
They are. And, you know, back in the day when I was on Periscope, also doing Bible art there, and Linda, who is on here today, she was a big part of that with me. We used to have every month a Bible art hop as well as just an art hop, and it was really cool. But I'm not over there really much at all anymore. But people from there I'm reconnecting with, like on Facebook and everything, and it's just awesome. It is awesome. So hey, Donna's still here, right?
Donna Hanrahan. Sorry, Donna, I just butchered your name on.
Moving away.
Hey, Donna. So Donna, you and I go way back as well. And I don't remember where we met from.
I used to watch your YouTube.
Was it from YouTube? I wasn't sure if it was YouTube or Periscope or both.
Yeah,
Did you ever come over onto Periscope?
No.
No, okay. Okay.
No, I'm a YouTube snob.
Oh, you really? Oh.
Yeah, I did Periscope too for a while, but I like YouTube. I really like it.
Yeah.
Well, and I really like Zoom as well because, like Bo was saying, you know, that I use it, Zoom at work. It's a more recent tool that we're using at work. So everybody's learning, and I'm like, oh, I love Zoom, and, you know, and I tell them, oh, I'm teaching on Zoom and whatever, and they're like, you know, so.
Yeah, a lot of businesses are using it, I guess, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh. How's everybody doing? Anybody have any questions? Everybody's working away?
It's working.
Okay.
I'm curious about the size boxes that everybody chose. Are they doing big boxes or little boxes?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Well, we're going to have some show and tell, I hope, at the end. That's always fun.
It is fun. Oh yeah, we should have plenty of time.
Okay, good.
Plenty of time. Right. So right now the cover of my box is just like saturated with Mod Podge. Oh my goodness.
Are you going to heat gun that?
Well, I probably will, unless, you know, while I'm doing the top of it, because I'm almost done with the bottom.
Okay, you're fast.
So then that will dry while I'm working on the top.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, a big thanks to Jeri and Mary who organize all of this. It's not easy organizing people.
I think we got it down though, don't we, Mary?
Well, at this point, I would say that if anybody wants to present a project, you know, we know each other pretty well in here, and this would be a good platform to get some practice. Contact myself or Jeri, and we'll get you set up for a meeting to present. There's a lot of talent in this group, and we would love to see some of you others present because, well, I think you can.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Mary. We share. And if, you know, don't let the recording thing scare you off because we don't have to do that. This is just, we're trying and see how it works out. But if you have an objection to it, that's fine.
Yeah, this is the first time you're recording though.
Yes,
you're not
it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're brave.
Because I'm brave. You know what? When you do, I don't know. I'm used to it, I guess.
Well, a lot of us make YouTube videos, so.
At this point, my fingers are just so sticky.
Yes, I know.
I'm going to be peeling Mod Podge off of them all day long.
Do you happen to see, or have you been following the toilet paper thing that Mary is involved in right now?
No. What is that?
I'll let Mary come on and tell you about it. But I was putting the first coat of gesso on my toilet paper rolls, and oh my gosh, what a mess.
Oh my gosh.
Mary, come on and tell us about your toilet paper.
Well, I'll do a show and tell later, or maybe I'll do a flip, but let's rather talk about it. Lisa and Tanya are hosting every month on a hangout, and they are hanging out Tuesday the 26th on Lisa, my Eclectic Life's channel, and they're making what they're called tube rolls, and it's out of toilet paper or you know, your paper towel rolls, and we're gessoing them and decorating them and making little tube books out of them. It's really fun. I've been showing mine in my streams when I come in on the morning, but I'll show mine later during a show and tell session, or I'll do a flip of where I'm at it. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun doing it. I wasn't sure that doing a toilet paper roll was going to be the thing for me, but I am having fun with it.
That sounds like a lot of fun. So is it similar to what we're doing here, but with toilet paper roll?
Yeah, we flattened them out and we're gessoing them. Yeah, we gessoed them, and then you can decorate them however you want. So I think some people are painting them. I put Tim Holtz tissue paper, and I painted my background, put Tim Holtz tissue paper on it. So, and then we're making little tags that fit inside. It's really a fun project.
I just got my toilet paper rolls gessoed, and that's it. That's as far as I got.
And you're giving it 2 days to dry, right?
Yes, that's what I'm doing, Mary. I'm giving it 2 days to dry.
Please do that, because I tell you, unless you love distress, unless you love distress, you might get quite a surprise, because mine all stuck together. And I like distress, so it didn't bother me, but somebody who's not into that would be very frustrated. And we really have a full room. This is, like Jeri said, this is a really nice group. It's nice because, you know, we can just get together and art. So I'm seeing you all on my laptop. I'm loving my laptop, Anne. I'm loving my laptop. I try to use.
Oh, I was just going to say, you know what else is nice, Mary, is like when Linda came on, you know, she said, well, she's working in a journal, and that's fine. You know, just to even just be together, you don't even have to work on the same project necessarily, right?
Right. I think Ian is always working on something else. What did I see Ian? He's just his desktop right now, but a lot of times when he comes in, he was working on his sketching or his watercoloring.
Right.
And, you know, this is just like a little get together to eat. Working on the project is just kind of something to pull us together. So, boy, Sue, I'm really liking those. Those are so bright and pretty.
Aren't they though? Yeah, and so
Yeah.
the bottom is almost dry. So I would love to know how everybody is doing. So is everybody getting close to being done or halfway done or what? So what I would say at this point is, you know, definitely if you need to dry your box, let's go ahead and dry. Just make sure you're on mute. And then we will go to the next step, and it's 2 o'clock. So we're doing good, really.
Sure.
You know, so I'll give you just a couple minutes to get your box dry, and then we're gonna do more to it. I'm gonna pull out all my stuff. Oh, and at this point also, you're going to want some sort of paint. So I'm going to pull out some black acrylic paint because we're going to make marks on our boxes. So I'll pull out my handy dandy acrylic block. All right.
I think you could do jelly printing on that block. If you had enough paint on there, why couldn't you just, like, when you get all your paint smeared around, just stick a piece of paper on there and get...
You could. Well, I've even done the jelly plate. So, like, I have my little brayer right here. Mm-hmm. And so I have my craft mat. It's like one of those, is it Ink Essentials by Ranger? They make them, but I got this one years ago, I guess on Etsy it was. And it's probably, I don't know, 36 inches long. So it's long. It's long. And it's like 18 inches by 36, maybe something like that.
That is a big one. Is it, did you say it was Teflon?
It is exactly the same. Well, it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So I have jelly plated. See, I say jelly plated when it's not a jelly plate. It's on, but I've done it right here on this surface. Where
you're kidding. Right on the Teflon mat.
Yep. Where I put paint down. I've rolled it out with my small brayer just because my small brayer is on my desk. And, oh yeah, and you can throw a stencil over that and then use your
That's
paper.
Good to know, Sue. Now, the pieces of jelly paper that you're using on your box that you showed us, did you do those on a jelly plate or on your
this, I did, except for this one here. So this one was just this piece right here, which is the drop paper or shipping paper, or some people call it newspaper, although there's no print on it. Was just, how did I do this? I have a lot of actually ink on here. So I used a lot of stencil on this one. And there's paint on here. I don't even know what the heck I did.
You sound like me. You don't remember. Do you own a jelly plate?
I do. I own multiple jelly plates. My first jelly plate I got in 2014.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you remember that.
I do, only because, yep. So I learned how to jelly plate on Valentine's Day 2014. That's how I know.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah, because I was out in Lidditz, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
With a group doing mixed media. And I'm like, I don't know if like you guys, like the first time you've heard or saw of like the jelly plate in that whole process, it's like, what the heck? Like, this is so weird. It's like, what are you going to do with this? And then it's just, of course it grew after that, but.
Yes, it does. It morphs. So what were you doing in Lidditz? Was there some kind of an event?
There is. I go there every year. In fact, I go there the end of April every year. So next month I'll be out there, but there's a place called the Cozy Crop House. And she actually, the person that runs it, her name is Kate. And she actually has two houses that, so it's a place, it's like a bed and breakfast for crafters. So it really runs from like the afternoon on Friday through Sunday afternoon. And, you can either, cook yourself, or you can have, she'll get a cook to come in and cook your meals for you, which is what we tend to do. And then there's like a hostess, and so she's there from Friday night until Sunday. And so you do games and stuff, but it's just everybody gets together. So we have people that make cards. We have mixed media people. We have people that do jewelry. We have people that just sit around and hang and talk. And there's a lot of, so there's like 13 of us there at a time in the bigger house, which is the one I tend to go to.
Sue, Monica is asking if you can share the address of this Artful B&B. We all want to go there.
Oh my gosh.
It's about an hour from my house.
It's an hour from your house, yes.
You're kidding.
No.
How can I post that?
We go out there every summer.
You could write it in chat if you can.
Well, all I can do is write the name of it.
That's fine. And the town and the city, we can find it.
Okay. The Cozy
It's
Crop
the Amish country
House
in Pennsylvania. Zoe's asking where. It's in Pennsylvania, Zoe.
I have a feeling that if you write the name of it, it can be Googled and everything. Are they on the internet?
They are. There's a Facebook group and everything. I've been going there for, is this going to be my 7th year in a row? So I've been going there for a long time.
Oh, so
how fun is that?
You go with friends, or do you?
I do. So it's really cool the way it works, right? So there's 13 chairs, like, it's hard to explain, but anyways, this particular house, I'll just talk about this one house, is a ranch style house with a 2-car garage. So the 2-car garage she took, and that's the work area. Plus she has a small store in there. So if you need something, you can buy something if you run out.
Cool.
And so all the tables, well, they're in sections. There's like 6 people, and 6 people, no, whatever it is. And, but you're all together. And so you can go with just your friends. So we've been there where it's been all people that we've known. Or this April, there's 5 of us that we know. And then so there's other groups that can come in as well. during that time. So that's also nice because you get to meet other crafters and other people. So
Monica posted the link.
Okay. Oh, thanks, Monica.
okay,
So,
thank you.
Sue, the house holds how many people?
Well, it sleeps, I guess, 14. And then there's 13 seats plus the hostess. So you can have up to that amount. And so the first year that we went from Thursday to Sunday because you can go early and it's cost, depending on the night, she charges like an extra $40 or $50 a night. It's like so inexpensive. Mm-hmm. And then the year after that, we went on Wednesday. And for years now, we go from Sunday to Sunday.
All right.
We're there for a whole week.
Get out.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
that sounds like fun. I bet it would be a blast if you like got people from all over the place and like that you knew, you know, and you met.
From online, and we do. We have people from Michigan, from North Carolina, from Florida, from Ohio, from, you know, surrounding areas.
I would come from Switzerland for that.
You can come. You can come. Yeah,
just
cool.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
For the group? I will be in Seattle from mid-May bis mid-June, and I'm looking for something like that. If you hear something, could you give me the information?
Sure.
Yeah, that's the other side of the country for us. That's the other side of the world.
But maybe you know something.
Yes.
Right, right. Yeah, you never know, right? Yeah. All right.
Actually, Monica's out in California, so she's out on the West Coast. Maybe she knows something.
Yeah, and there are other places like that. There are places like in New Jersey. So if you search for something like that, you just might find something close to you, because there's more than one. There's more. At one point, I was even going to open one, but I didn't. But anyway, it's really cool.
No, Brian and I thought of doing that. Too, to have an art B&B.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I shouldn't have sold my house. I should have done it there.
You should have done it.
Yeah,
there.
that's a good idea.
Well, the neighbors would have killed me.
Yeah, we do get a little bit loud. We do. We blast the music and we sing, you know, we sing into our paintbrushes, you know, and our pens, and we're singing, and you know, it's just, you're just silly, right? Especially when it's, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning. And
oh my gosh, you're up all night.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move along. And so what I wanted to show you now, and most of you probably have a bin already filled with all kinds of things that you like to use to create visual texture or shapes on your projects, right? So all different kinds of tops. You want to have all different sizes because it's fun, right, to use different sizes. So I have like this little one that I guess is from like a chapstick or something. You know, I even have this, which was a bulb of some kind, but I liked it and I kept it because I'm a mixed media artist and Mary taught me to keep everything. And
she's a troublemaker.
I totally blame Mary for this.
Is it gold?
What?
Is it gold?
No.
Is that gold? Oh, okay. I thought I saw gold on the cap. I guess I'm just seeing the gold.
I don't know what it is, to tell you the truth, but it was good and I figured I'd keep it, right? And of course, then there's your texture stamps. So, you know, if you have little stamps in your stash like this, they're always good. I always have this on my desk. So if I'm working on something, I can quickly pull it and use it without having to stop what I'm doing. We're also going to add some sort of bling onto our project, and some washi tape. If you have washi tape and you would like to add some, we're going to do that as well. So, and you can add buttons, you know, all kinds of stuff, whatever you want to do. So on my cigarette box, I added a nice square little gem right there. And I thought that that one was just perfect. But you could certainly add more than one onto your box. So on mine, like my washi tape, I have a little bit here. I have a little bit down here. And again, I'm tearing it. It's, you know, making it as uneven as you possibly can with washi tape. A little piece here, some over here. So that's what we're gonna do next. Let's go ahead, if you have washi tape, go ahead and grab your washi tape and just tear off, depending on how big your box is, you know, just whatever you want to get on there. So for me, I think I'm going to actually use the pink and the black. I definitely like to pull black onto, whether it's an art journal page or something like this. I like to have a little bit of black on there normally. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my washi, and I'm just going to get it down there. And to be honest, you know what? I'm going to use some more Mod Podge to get it down. Is this sticky? It absolutely is. But I'm going to go ahead and get some more Mod Podge. So I'm just going to start with this little piece of washi. And I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of Mod Podge. I'm going to try not to get it all over my fingers again. But who knows? We'll see. And I'll go ahead and get it onto the box. Now, what I'm going to do is, again, for me, I don't want things to be neat and uniform. For me, mixed media is a lot about random messiness that really isn't random because you're really taking a lot of time to do it, but it looks random, right? So, and I had to learn that because I tend to be, I was always in my life I wanted perfection, right? I wanted things to look neat and clean and lined up or whatever. But to me, in mixed media, it's a lot about not doing that. And so I actually had to learn that in my life, to not be neat, believe it or not. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm putting it, whoops, over the side of my box. So again, you can see it from both sides, right? So here it is right here. I'm going to put a little bit more. This, you know, after you have washi tape for a while, you know, then it really is sometimes not sticky anymore at all. At all. But go ahead and get just a few pieces of washi down just to add another layer. Of course, I'm back using my finger. And another thing that I like to do as far as washi tape goes is I do like to layer my washi tape. So, but let me show you this. Wait, one second here. Let me get this piece down and I'll show you what I need. Get this down. All right. So what I mean by I like to layer my washi tapes is, so I have the pink down. But I want to get a little bit more interest to that and maybe call a little bit more attention to it. So I'm going to go ahead and take my black that has the numbers on it. I'm going to take a piece. I'm going to tear it in half, lengthwise like this. Just go ahead and tear it in half. So now I have two pieces. And now it's messy again, right? Because I like messy. So I'm going to put my Mod Podge down and then go ahead and put this down. You can put it down in the middle. You can put it up top. Let me get it down and I'll show you. All right. So this might be hard to see because that pink is hard to see. But if you can see here, so I have a pink piece of washi underneath, and then I took the black that was torn down the middle and I put it on top of it. It just gives it an extra, something of interest, right? Just something different to look at. And what's going to end up happening, I think that you'll find, or at least the way I do it, is I like to work a lot in clusters. Again, no matter what I'm working on, whether it's a canvas, a journal, a box, whatever, I tend to work a lot in clusters because I like my eye to be drawn somewhere, right? So when I look at this, I'm going to end up putting some circles around where this washi is. And then that's going to be an area where when I look at this, my eye is going to go there. And to me, oh, what do you have? What is that, Zoe? Oh, that looks like fun. Oh, we got bling. This girl's got some bling. So that's what I like to do. That tends to be my style. So I'm going to go ahead, and this other half, I don't want to throw it away. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on here as well. And that's actually something else that I do where, like I just did a canvas and a couple of weeks ago, oh, for the hop that some of us are on in a few days. And I had bling in this little basket that I have here on my desk. And most of it was orange bling. I had one little rhinestone that was purple. I could not put it back in my basket. I put it on this canvas. There was nothing else purple. There is nothing else purple on my canvas except for this one little rhinestone. But I used it. I didn't put it back in my stash is what the point is. So
good for you.
Right? Right? You want to use it up.
Yeah, I'm in that hop as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of us in here that are doing that. That's coming out on March 22nd, by the way.
That'll be fun, right?
Yes. In fact, Danina from the Art Bar is doing a live hop the same day, March 22nd.
Oh, really?
Yes. So everybody's going to have a 2-hour time slot to do something creative. And I joined that. So I'm going to have our video hop and the live hop the same day.
Oh my goodness.
But my video's done.
Right.
For Tanya, yeah. Mary's in that too, I think. I'm not sure if anybody else in here is doing that.
Yeah, I'm in that.
Yeah.
Mine's all done. I'm not in the live hop though.
Are you on or in Danina's Art Bar?
I might be in it, but Jeri, I just don't have time to do everything.
I know.
I'm really not participating too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not that I don't want to, it's just that time constraints.
I don't know how you get everything done that you're doing as it is. Mary.
Yeah, I really overcommit to a lot.
That's because it all sounds like so much fun. Because it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Danina a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to figure out to do something together. So I'm glad she's doing this hop.
Yeah.
Because I'll get to do that. That is really looking so cute, Sue. I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, and I love washi tape, and I don't trust it either. So I always glue it down.
Always glue it. Absolutely. Absolutely. This piece that I'm putting down now is actually cloth. a cloth washi.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so just to add a little.
I think washi tape isn't meant to be permanent. That's what I have heard. It is to be removable.
That makes sense because it, yeah, definitely is removable.
Yeah, I think it was originally meant to be, if you looked at the history of washi tape, it was originally meant to be removable.
What were they doing with it then originally, Mary?
I think it originated over in Japan, and I'm not sure what they were doing with it. You'd have to read the history, but I do remember that it was never really meant to be
permanent.
Permanent. Probably just to tack something down temporary.
Yeah, like instead of Scotch tape to wrap a gift.
So basically, washi is a word.
Wait, Ian's. Go ahead, Ian.
Washi means paper in Japanese.
Okay, that's why they call it paper tape.
Yeah.
All right, I wondered why people were calling it paper tape.
Washi is a type of paper that they make. It's a traditional paper.
Interesting.
So, are you putting your bling on yet, or are you just putting on the washi?
I'm putting the washi on, but I'm almost done, and then I'm going to put my bling on. But before we put our, well, it depends. So we need to do our shapes with the paint, right? So don't forget that step where you're going to take your acrylic paint and you're going to get some paint on your round top or lid or whatever. And we're going to put a little bit onto the box. So like this right here.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I wasn't there.
Yep. And then that's going to be it. And if you have a piece of bling or something that you want to be front and center, like I have this little charm, a heart locket. I don't even know where I got this locket, but I have it. So I was thinking of even adhering that to the top of this box.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll see.
You can't go wrong with a heart.
No, right?
I love hearts.
Can't go wrong with a heart.
No, you
Or
can't.
butterflies. I'm so hooked on butterflies. Oh my God.
I'm hooked on flowers and hearts.
Oh, I love
body
flowers.
parts.
Yeah.
And body parts.
And body parts.
Yes. I love body parts.
Did you say and body parts?
Yes, that's what I said, and body parts.
All right. I'm not going to ask.
I know. I have to think about new people and people parts.
People parts.
Jeri, you would love my box with doll parts then.
I would love it. Yes, I often.
Some people are scared.
I do. I love that stuff. Broken dolls and yeah.
Yep.
That is very interesting to me.
Yes. Did you make a video, B?
Good, interesting, or bad interesting?
Well, I'm not really sure at the moment. I don't really know.
It's not weird. It's like body parts. Arms and legs and heads and stuff like that.
Oh, hey. Oh, my goodness. All right. So I'm going to go ahead because it is 2:30. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting some circles onto my top and my bottom of my box. And this is from a spool of thread. Is it not, Jeri? This is.
Yes, that's a spool of thread. It's an
so
old.
Like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Right? To use to make marks on something.
Sure. Could be a leg or an arm, too.
Oh, my gosh. I'll never look at this the same ever again now.
It could be a head, too. You draw a little
It
face
could be
on
a
it.
head. Hey, you know?
Oh, I know. I can't help it.
I hope she doesn't get bad dreams now.
I hope not, too. My gosh. My body parts are wonderful.
I love it. Oh, my gosh. So once you have your little visual, I call it visual texture. Once you have that on here and you get your bling, gosh, you're done. We are done. And now we have a cute little box to go ahead and put like little gems in it, or gosh, whatever. I don't know, little buttons. Or just keep it on your desk, and because it makes you smile.
Mm-hmm.
It just popped in. All right. Oh, I like that. This looks more like blue. It's called Midnight, and it looks blue to me. That is not black.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, like, look at that compared to the black. That looks
No,
blue.
it looks like midnight, like navy, like a really dark navy.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Close enough.
It could either be indigo or maybe even Payne's grey.
Yeah, you know, I'm surprised. It looks like
Very
it's
blue.
black.
It's a very bluish grey, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much so.
Did it look black in the store?
Sorry?
Did it look black in the store when you bought it?
Well, I actually got this because I was on a design team, so it was sent to me.
Okay.
I actually, you know, so. Let's see, what else? What else? What else? Over here. Okay, smaller one. All right, so this is the finished of the bottom of my box. It's so pretty. I want it to be the top of my box. So that's like
pretty.
Super cool. Again, I try to keep a little bit in clusters, just a little bit. Doesn't have to be exact. You know what else is good about these Zooms is, you know, even if you walk away with one or two ideas to try, like how cool is that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I agree. Yeah. And then when everybody does show and tell, if you hear any loud bangs in the in the background, it's just my husband. He's moving furniture around.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right. Put my last little piece, although I do want to have.
Jeri, Karen was asking for a link to your Etsy shop, and I think other people with Etsy shops might ought to put links in the chat also.
Yeah, we sure can do that.
Whoever's got them. I don't got one.
I'll just run and get mine.
All right, so I'm going to put the little charm at the top of my box. Oh, that looks super cute. And then I have these little pieces of bling. It was this one strip that I cut, and I'm going to add this to my little clusters, I think. Maybe, maybe not. And it's purple again. What is it with me in purple? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I need to add more bling.
Yeah, anybody who's here, you're welcome to put your link in the chat. And I will follow up with an email with Sue's links, and my links and Mary's links are in all the emails that we send out every month. So you can always find us. I would suggest you bookmark my webpage with the calendar, and then you can check that out whenever you want and see what's coming up the following month. There is not a supply sheet listed there. It's just the presenter's name and where you can find them and the project. And I've started putting pictures of the projects on there as well, so you can, you know, see. And also, if anyone would like to share a photograph of the project that you created here today, if you would email me that photograph, I would really like that. I have a gallery page that I started about a month ago on my website, and I'm posting people's pictures if you're interested. Awesome. So you can email me. So I'll just type my email in the chat. Again, you can find it in the email that I send to you.
And if you think about it, I mean, we're recycling our boxes, so.
We're recycling, yes.
Right? On your Facebook page.
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. Post your pictures if you're a member of my Facebook page, my group. Post your pictures over there. It's Recycle Parts for Art gang. Let me see if I can grab a link for that.
I think you took what handle off, Zoe? She's like, I took the handle off. Oh, cool. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is exciting. Okay, I can't wait to see everybody's project. But I am done. So I think what I'll do is everybody's finishing up. I'll just kind of go ahead and just show this to you up close. And then Jeri, we have 25 minutes left, so I don't know, you know, if you want to do show and tell or whatever
We're going to do show and tell. Yeah, I think we're going to do show and tell.
Okay, so this is the bottom, which I really love.
I know, I like the bottom too. I mean, the top is beautiful, but the bottom is also pretty.
Oh my goodness. And then the top, I did put the locket in the middle, and I have my little cluster here. I have a cluster there. I added a little bit extra bling.
It's very pretty.
Bling is good. So that's my project.
Beautiful, Sue. Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much.
Really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to help us and show us how to do this really pretty box.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it always is. Time spent with friends. Can't go wrong. Are there any body parts in those envelopes?
There are not, no.
Yeah, I got a lot of body parts here. I'll have to share one of these days. And my husband, he laughs at me all the time when we go thrifting and to the junk store and the flea markets. Whenever I pick something up and go, this is a great body part, this is a great arm or a great leg or something, he just laughs. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Would anyone like to share? You can